Iraq's WND programs spanned more than 2 decades, involved thousands of people, billions of dollars, and was elaborately shielded by security and deception operations that continued even beyond the end of Operation Iraqi Freedom. That is what the report said. Specifically, Dr. K's team discovered what the report calls, and I quote, dozens of WMD-related program activities and significant amounts of equipment that Iraq concealed from the United Nations during the inspections that began in late 2002. In addition to these extensive concealment efforts, Dr. K found systematic destruction of evidence of these illegal activities. This interim progress report is not final. Extensive work remains to be done on his biological, chemical, and nuclear weapons programs. But these findings already make clear that Saddam Hussein actively deceived the international community, that Saddam Hussein was in clear violation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1441, and that Saddam Hussein was a danger to the world. The Commissioner will say a few words.
Thank you. First I want to take this opportunity to thank the President for giving me the honor and allowing me to go to Iraq and help the Iraqi people, give the Iraq people back their country. And we did so quite quickly, and that continues on a daily basis. 4.5 months ago, when I arrived in Iraq, there were no police, very few, if any. There were no police stations, there were no cars, there was no electricity. They didn't have telephones, communications, radios. They basically had nothing. They had no equipment, they had no weapons, except for those they had hoarded and kept on the side. In the last 4 months, we brought back more than 40,000 police, 450 cars in Baghdad, stood up 35 police stations in Baghdad. And I know I constantly hear, as I've come back, I listen to the press and I listen to some of the public, some of the criticism, and they talk about it's taking too long. We'll try to stand up 35 police stations in New York City. It would take you about 11 years, depending on who was in the city council. It takes a while. You only have 24 hours in a day. But they have made tremendous progress. The police are working. They're working in conjunction with the military. They are arresting the Fidane Saddam and the Ba'athists. And I read some of the articles about this, about Dr. K's report today. In my opinion, there was one weapon of mass destruction in Iraq, and it was Saddam Hussein. I visited the mass graves. I watched the videos of the Mukhabarat and the intelligence services interrogate, torture, abuse, and execute people day after day. I watched them tie grenades to the necks of people and stuff grenades in the pockets of people as they interviewed them, and then detonate those grenades and watch the people disappear. I watched a video of Saddam sitting in an office and allowing 2 Doberman pinchers to eat alive a general, a military general, because he did not trust his loyalty. There was one weapon of mass destruction. He's no longer in power, and I think that's what counts today. I understand probably more than anyone what a threat Iraq was, and the people that threatened Iraq was. I was beneath the towers on September 11th when they fell, and I want to thank the President for the honor in allowing me to go there, because I lost 23 people. I wear this this memorial band for the 23 I lost. They were defending the freedom of our country. I got to go on their behalf to Iraq to bring freedom to Iraq, and take one less threat away from us in this country. So, Mr. President, thank you.
Good job, Bernie. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Answer a couple of questions, Terry.
Mr. President, are you still confident that weapons of mass destruction will be found in Iraq? And how long do you think that search will go on? Is that an open-ended search until something's found?
That's a question you need to ask David Kay. He'll be interviewing with the press today, his opinion. I can only report to what his interim report says. Let me finish, please. His interim report said that Iraq's weapons of mass destruction program spanned more than 2 decades. That's what he said. See, he's over there under difficult circumstances and reports back. He says that the WMD program involved thousands of people, billions of dollars, and was elaborately shielded by security and deception operations that continued even beyond the end of Operation Iraqi Freedom. In other words, he's saying Saddam Hussein was a threat, a serious danger.
There's a poll out in which a lot of people today are wondering whether the war was really worth the cost.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Yeah,
sir?
I don't make decisions based upon polls. I make decisions based upon what I think is important for the security of the American people. And I'm not going to forget the lessons of 9/11, September 2001. I'm not going to forget what Commissioner Carrick described, the bombing that killed innocent life. This administration will deal with gathering dangers where we find them. The interim report of Mr. Kay showed that Saddam Hussein defied 1441 and was a danger. We gave him ample time to deal with his weapons of mass destruction, and he refused. So he's no longer in power, and the world is better off for it. Can't think of many people who think that the world would be a safe place with Saddam Hussein in power. Sometimes the American people like the decisions I make, sometimes they don't, but they need to know I'll make tough decisions based upon what I think is right, given the intelligence I know, in order to do my job, which is to secure this country and to bring peace. Thank you all.
That you overstated the threat in the view of critics.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Bernie,